Hello and welcome to the second chapter of our AI series, where we continue our exploration of the fascinating world of artificial intelligence. In the previous episode, we learned what artificial intelligence is and familiarized ourselves with some key terms. So in today's episode, we'll look at how AI has evolved over time from its humble beginnings to its current state and future prospects. So let's begin. The idea of AI has been around for a millennia. There are many myths and legends from different cultures that feature artificial creatures, such as the clay golems of Jewish folklore, the mechanical birds of ancient China, or the automata of ancient Egypt. In Greek mythology, you can find Talos, a giant automaton made of bronze to protect Europa in Crete from pirates and invaders by throwing stones at their ships. These ancient stories reflect the human fascination with creating artificial life and intelligence, as well as the ethical and moral dilemmas that may arise from such endeavors. But it was not until the 1950s that the real potential of AI was investigated. A generation of scientists, physicists, and intellectuals had the idea of AI. But it was Alan Turing, a British polymath, who proposed that people solve problems and make decisions using available information and also a reason. And this could, in theory, be applied to machines too. Now, this was a revolutionary idea. Turing also devised a test to measure the intelligence of machines, known as the Turing test. The test involves a human interrogator who has to distinguish between a human and a machine based on their responses to a series of questions. If the machine can fool the interrogator into thinking that it's human, then it passes the test. However, the early development of AI faced many challenges, such as the limitations of computers and the lack of funding. Computers were slow, expensive, and had low memory capacity. They could execute orders, but they could not store them. AI research also suffered from periods of hype and disappointment, known as AI winters, when the expectations were not met by the results. Despite these difficulties, AI researchers made some remarkable achievements in the past. In 1956, John McCarthy coined the term artificial intelligence at a conference at Dartmouth College, where he invited experts from various fields to discuss the possibilities of creating machines that could think. This conference is known as the birthplace of AI. Then in 1959, Arthur Samuel developed a program that could play checkers and learn from its own experience. He also introduced the term machine learning to describe the process of computers improving their performance without explicit programming. In 1966, Joseph Weizenbaum created Eliza, one of the first chatbots that could stimulate a conversation with a human. Eliza used pattern matching and substitution to generate responses based on keywords in the user's input. Then in 1969, Marvin Minsky and Seymour Papert published Perceptrons, a book that analyzed the mathematical properties of artificial neural networks, which are computational models inspired by the structure and function of biological neurons. In 1972, Alan Kolmogorov and Philip Rossell developed Prolog, one of the first logic programming languages that could express complex reasoning and knowledge representation. In 1975, Edward Feigenbaum and his colleagues created Dendral, one of the first expert systems that could solve problems in a specific domain by using a set of rules and facts. However, the historic milestone was achieved in 1997. When IBM's Deep Blue defeated the world chess champion Garry Kasparov in a 6-game match. It was the first time that a computer beat a human at chess under tournament conditions. Fast forward to today, where AI research has grown at a pace of 12.9% annually over the last 5 years. China is expected to overtake the United States as the world's leading source of AI technology in the next 4 years. Europe is the largest and most diverse in AI research output with high levels of international collaboration, while India is the third largest country in AI research output behind China and USA. AI has also become more accessible and affordable thanks to advances in hardware, software, data availability, and cloud computing. AI technologies are enhancing productivity and innovation across various industries and domains. For example, virtual personal assistants. These are applications that can perform tasks for users based on their voice or text commands. Examples include Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant, Bixby, and Cortana, among others. self-driving cars. These are vehicles that can drive themselves without human intervention. They use sensors, cameras, GPS, maps, and AI algorithms to perceive their environment, plan their routes, and control their actions. Examples include Tesla, Waymo, Uber, etc. Facial recognition. This is the ability to identify or verify a person's identity based on their face. It can be used for security, surveillance, authentication, and social media. Examples include Face ID, Facebook, Snapchat, etc. Natural language processing. This is the ability to understand and generate natural language, such as speech and text. It can be used for translation, summarization, sentiment analysis, chatbots, and voice assistants. Examples include Google Translate, the famous ChatGPT, IBM's Watson, etc. Next is computer vision. This is the ability to analyze and interpret visual information, such as images and videos. It can be used for object detection, facial recognition, medical diagnosis, and augmented reality. Examples include OpenCV, Instagram, Google Lens, etc. Artificial neural networks. These are computational models that mimic the structure and function of biological neurons. They can learn complex patterns and non-linear relationships from data. They can be used for image recognition, natural language processing, speech synthesis, and generative models. Examples include convolutional neural networks, recurrent neural networks, and generative adversarial networks, among others. For machine learning and deep learning, refer to our video 1 of AI series. AI is changing the world in ways we cannot even imagine yet. It has the potential to solve some of the biggest challenges facing humanity, such as climate change, poverty, disease, and war. But it also poses some grave risks and ethical dilemmas that we need to address carefully. But more on that in the next episode. So stay tuned. That wraps up the second episode in our artificial intelligence series. Are there any more topics you want me to cover? If so, tell me in the comments. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and venture beyond.